They call it delusion when you see a future before there's evidence, when you move differently before the numbers change, when you refuse to let current circumstances decide what you're allowed to want. They call it delusion when you hold yourself to a higher standard than your surroundings reflect. When you walk with a posture of certainty in a world that worships doubt. When you quietly expect more, even as the world offers you less. But here's the truth they never explain. Every major expansion begins where logic ends. Every transformation that changes the shape of your life, your lineage, your reality, starts with a decision that cannot be justified by current facts. What people label as delusional is often just someone refusing to outsource their self-belief to the present moment. It's the refusal to let the visible world dictate the limits of your internal world. Because if you only allow yourself to believe what's already visible, you will never evolve beyond what already exists. Being delusional isn't pretending nothing is wrong. It isn't ignoring responsibility or bypassing reality or floating above the facts. Real expansion is disciplined belief. It's the art of choosing a higher internal standard before the external world catches up. It's not reckless hope or naive optimism. It is the quiet, unwavering decision to become a new reference point for what is possible. The people who change their lives don't wait for proof to act differently. They don't wait for permission to expect more. They don't wait for validation to raise their self-concept. They decide first. They decide how they see themselves. They decide what treatment they accept. They decide what level of life they're available for. And then they move in alignment with that decision, consistently, quietly, unapologetically. What looks like delusion from the outside is often clarity on the inside. It is the clarity of someone who knows their value before the world reflects it back. It is the clarity of someone who refuses to negotiate with their potential. Because here's what nobody says. Staying realistic has kept a lot of people trapped. Realism, when it's rooted in fear, is just socially acceptable limitation. It's the voice that says, be grateful for what you have, when what you actually need is growth. It's the voice that says, don't get your hopes up, when hope is the very thing that fuels evolution. It's the subtle pressure to shrink your dreams so others don't feel uncomfortable in your presence. Expansion doesn't require you to lie to yourself. It requires you to stop negotiating with your potential, to stop asking the world for permission to become the version of yourself that already exists in your mind's eye. There is a version of you who already expects stability, already expects overflow, already expects respect, ease, and compensation that matches their value. Acting in alignment with that version isn't delusion. It's leadership of your own life. It's the art of self-direction, the practice of setting your own standard and then rising to meet it, regardless of who notices or who understands. But here's the part most people skip. Belief without embodiment collapses. Vision without nervous system capacity creates burnout. You can't just think bigger. You have to become someone who can hold bigger. That means regulating your reactions, raising your tolerance for success, letting good things last without self-sabotage. It means staying grounded while your vision expands, calm while your standards rise, steady while your life upgrades. Elevation is not just a mental exercise. It is a full body, full life recalibration. It is the willingness to let your nervous system learn a new baseline, to let your body experience safety in the presence of more. True delusion isn't believing you're meant for more. It's believing you're meant to stay exactly where you are. It's believing that your story ends with the circumstances you inherited. It's believing that your best days are already behind you. So if they call you delusional because you're moving differently, thinking differently, expecting differently, let them. Because every elevated life begins with someone who refused to agree with the old story. Not because they were reckless, not because they were unrealistic, but because they were self-led. Because they understood that reality is not a fixed point, but a moving target. That the world bends to the standard of those willing to hold a vision long enough for it to become fact. There is a quiet power in being the one who believes first, in being the one who sets the tone, who holds the frequency, who makes the decision, and then becomes the evidence. This is not arrogance. This is not denial. This is self-respect in action. This is the discipline of choosing yourself, not once, but every day. Of holding your own hand through the discomfort of growth, the loneliness of outgrowing, the awkwardness of becoming unfamiliar to those who only knew you at your smallest. When you live like this, you're not waiting for applause. You're not waiting for consensus. You stop waiting for the world to catch up to what you know is possible. You move first. You embody first. You create first. And then, quietly, the world begins to rearrange itself around your new standard. Opportunities find you. Relationships shift. Environments respond. Because the world mirrors not what you hope for, but what you embody. Not what you wish, but what you expect. Not what you say, but what you settle for. Let them call it delusion. Let them misunderstand. Let them project their own limitations onto your vision. You are not here to convince anyone of your path. You are here to become the living proof that disciplined belief, embodied vision, and regulated self-leadership create results that logic can't predict. You are here to set a new precedent for what is possible, not just for yourself, but for everyone watching, everyone who needs permission to want more, to expect more, to become more. Luxury is not about external markers. It is about the internal standard you hold, the way you move through the world with calm certainty, the way you refuse to shrink your desires to fit the comfort of others, the way you let your nervous system learn that it is safe to have, to hold, to keep, the way you let your life become a testament to what happens when you stop asking for evidence and start acting as the evidence. So ask yourself, what would change if you stopped waiting for proof? What would shift if you stopped negotiating with your potential? What would become possible if you stopped calling your vision delusion and started calling it leadership? The answer is everything. Everything changes when you decide first. When you move in alignment with your highest standard. When you become the reference point for what is allowed, for what is possible, for what is next. This is the art of self-led expansion. This is the quiet luxury of believing first, becoming first, and letting the world adjust. This is the legacy of those who refuse to stay small, who refuse to agree with inherited limitation, who refuse to let the present moment define the future. You are not here to be realistic. You are here to be revolutionary. You are not here to shrink. You are here to rise. You are not here to wait for proof. You are here to become the proof. So, let them watch as you move, as you rise, as you embody a new standard for what is possible. Because that's not delusion, that's power. Until next time, peace and love.